Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, go in, Jeff.
For you, the soul freaking show. I ain't had a damn thing to eat, but it's cool. Talk about baby mama.
Ladies and gentlemen, So What Morning's back in the building. It's Monday, and you know what that means. Another riveting topic from the So What Morning Show crew. We're back in the building. The number to dial, 855-878-4652. When I tell you this topic is bananas, when I tell you it's crazy, it's out of control.
Stratosphere.
Listen, if you're in trouble and you need help and you got a story to tell, you got to call this line right now, 855-878-4652. Now, as is commonplace, books. I don't even have a lot of books today because the topic is so crazy. I don't even have a lot. So let me just run through them real quick. As you know, The Rebirth of Seeds is my book. Please, please, please do me a solid. Go to my website right now. This is a call to action. Go to my website right now. IamZoeWilliams.com and purchase a copy of my book. This is how I stay alive. Isn't that terrible? For just 32 cents a month, you could help oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Feed Zoe's family.
Yes, you could help.
Get your mind on it.
Again, Just Listen and Real Influence, both by our good friend, Dr. Mark Goulston. Please participate in this man's movement. It's no joke. He's very insightful, very wise, and he's invaluable. We couldn't find another great white man like him.
No.
With that said, please support his works. And also, Jeff Brown is wearing my homeboy from Ram Omar, right?
This is dope.
Man, it's crazy. It is a split shirt. You have George Washington on one side and the great Pharaoh Pianki the Great on the other side. And that's where black people are today.
Yes.
We were God kings at one point under the rule of our own kind. And now,
You will swear your allegiance to me this day.
no, but this is what's crazy. You know, the Egyptian kings saw themselves as God kings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Masons have risen George Washington to God status. The Masonic process is called apotheosis. It's a Greek word which means raising one to a God status, to a God level, or God making is what it actually means. To make one a God, apotheosis.
So, I like that. Let me see if I can use that in a sentence.
Here we go.
All right, damn it. Y'all gonna start doing what I say around here. It's gonna be some apotheosis in this bitch today.
That means you're going to send them to God?
No, I thought that was they were gonna apotheosize me.
No, Jeff. Okay, sorry. Please support my homeboy, Omar Buckley. He's an incredible
so fly,
designer.
man.
This shirt was sent here for Jeff Brown. You can't even see the bottom. Show him stand up. Show him the bottom.
I lost my weight, so
It says the return of the gods at the bottom. It's ridiculous, man.
Just 60 days ago, the weight I was at, George Washington would have had a goiter in his throat because that would have been my belly out.
Wow.
And scene. Thank you very much for that foolery. Really quickly, one last book. You guys have to go get this book as it pertains to today's topic, because I think a lot of people need a little help here. Here's a book right here, The Denial of Death. I'm not even going to tell you what this book is about. It's so cold. It breaks down our interaction as human beings. It's a philosophical, psychological book. I don't want to give it away. The Denial of Death, Ernest Becker. Please go get it right now. With that said, community empowerment segment. We have somebody on the line. I felt that we had to revisit, this topic because at the end of the day, I don't think it had enough impact from last week's show. I'm bringing in Veronica Conway, the sister who created the neuro-linguistic program for reconditioning the black mind to a neuro-linguistic program that undoes Jim Crow and self-hate.
Wow.
And guess what? I didn't tell you who it was narrated by. I'm going to let her do that. Veronica Conway, could you please go into the impact of this most valuable tool? Please talk to us.
Hi, everybody. It is great to be here. I'm honored to be here. And so I just want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk about this is my baby, this is my life's work, and this is my gift to the black community.
And what a gift it is.
Yeah.
So I want to start a little bit with my story so people have an understanding of why this is created. So when I was 5 years old, my stepmother laid me down in a bathtub. And she put me in this bathtub not because she was going to give me a bath, but she put me in this tub because our household was about to go into a gun showdown with the people outside, and she didn't want me to be hit by bullets. And that bathtub was the only safe place in the building in which I was living. So I was born the child of a former Black Panther. And you all may know that the Second Civil War in this country happened when the police went to war with black people. And I was a child of that war. So before age 7, I attended school under an alias. I experienced death threats against my life. My father went to prison when I was 7, and he's still serving a life sentence today. But something interesting happened, because after our household got arrested and after I had a stint in a foster home, and even though my dad was in prison, I witnessed him living like a free man, even though he was incarcerated.
Wow. Speak on
And
it.
I saw so many of our brothers and sisters walking around living lives of incarceration. So I began to ask the question, what's the difference that makes the difference? Is freedom a function of your circumstances, or is it a function of your choices? And so you can ask Nelson Mandela that, and you can ask Mahatma Gandhi that. Because despite their circumstances, they chose freedom. And so can we. So I have a really deep, intimate relationship with freedom, and I have a deep, intimate relationship with the opposite of freedom. And so I decided to discover and really dedicate my life to understanding what it takes to have our people be free. And I'm talking about pure freedom, not the freedom that you think you have. I'm talking about pure freedom. So what makes you free and what incarcerates you? Inner incarceration has to do with the limitations that you accept as real. I'll say it again. Inner incarceration has to do with the limitations that you accept as real. So we're born free, and we become domesticated. I said this last week. If you look at a lion in the savannah or one at the zoo, they have a different look in their eyes. The one in the savannah is moving differently because it's a jungle out there and there are predators all around. And the one at the zoo is waiting on her next meal. And so to be domesticated means to be tamed and to create dependency so that the animal loses its ability to live in the wild. And I know that everybody knows this, but it's a jungle out there for black people. Whether you're in the inner city or the boardroom, the forces that oppose you are playing for keeps.
Wow.
And if you don't believe me, you can just look at how they're treating the most powerful black man in the world. I'm not saying that you have to agree with everything Obama does, but if the opposition is willing to do whatever it takes to annihilate him, then imagine what they think about us. And so I think that in this time, it's a jungle, and you have to have the senses to live in the wild.
Wow.
And so the last frontier, the last place that we can do that is in our mind. We have to make a jailbreak from the prison of our mind. And so that's why we're doing this. That's why I created this.
So can I just interject one quick second?
Yes.
You guys don't understand. This is why I had to highlight this again. It's so important that you understand. This thing comes with a 55-page playbook. Are there any other little angles that I'm missing? Are you narrating this thing? Are you walking us through this process? Well, who's talking
No,
on this?
it's funny. My dear friend Ian Van Zant, who I introduced to neurolinguistic programming. Ian Van Zant is the host of Fix My Life, and she's buddied up with Oprah now. She's my dear friend, and I introduced her to NLP.
Wow.
And so she came in and narrated this.
Wow.
And to record all of the intros and outros and tells the story. So it's 9 tracks. It's a downloadable program. It's got 9 tracks. They're about 20 for 20 minutes a day. You can change your story. So the program deals with limiting beliefs.
You can change your story in 20 minutes a day.
All behavior comes from in 20 minutes a day. I designed it so that it takes very little time. You can deal with limiting beliefs. You can deal with inner conflicts. You can deal with procrastination. You can deal with goal setting. You can any type of change that you want to experience in your life.
The one I like.
Create with this.
Veronica, the one I like.
Yeah.
Is releasing the inner revolutionary. Oh, jeez. This is really powerful stuff. And let me tell you something. First off, let me thank Veronica really quickly. Let me tell you guys something. I'm tired of black people spending the most money in the world. We spend and consume and eat
like nobody
more
else.
than anybody, but at the same time, we cheap. Wait a minute, that shirt costs $99. I'm going to wait till it go on sale. No, you're not. We will kill ourselves to be in alignment with someone else's definition of success or someone else's definition of arrival. At the end of the day, this lady has created a concept, an idea, a tool. It's not a religion. It's not a belief system. We ain't got to sell bean pies. We ain't got to wear bow ties. This is something, no disrespect to the brothers. I love the brothers. But I'm saying it's not a religion that will indoctrinate the mind. It is a freeing tool and not a limiting one. The word religion itself, it means to bind. If you look it up from its Greek and its Latin, it means to bind. This is a freeing agent and not a binding one. Veronica, let me just say I appreciate you.
That's right.
I appreciate you for coming on and sharing and revealing that. Black Mastery, where can people get it really quickly?
People can get it at www.blackmastery.com.
One more time.
And
say it again. One more time.
Blackmastery.com, and I will make a special invitation to your audience today. The first 10 people that sign up can come and do a free coaching session with me.
Wow. And she's the business.
A half an hour with me will change the game.
You know what?
Wow, she's the business.
Can we do something like that and have you try to coach me? Boy, what a horrible vacuous black hole that is.
Yeah.
But yes, I would love to like. Can you like coach me and I can report back to the show?
Yes, that would be dope. No, she's coached me.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, yeah, we got to get her. I got to get her a hookup.
All right, then. Listen, we're about to take a quick break, but when I come back, the topic is nuts. It's off the charts. We'll be back at 2.2 Zo What Mornings. Holla at us.
And they've been trying to get rid of me for a century. We simply survived, defy the laws of genocide. And they've been trying to apply them to us. Now how the fuck?
What's up, y'all? It's Edie Don.
And I'm Diva Pink.
And we are the hosts of the Real Talk Show that airs every Tuesday.
You so serious?
Real life, real topics, real subjects.
Shop Talk, Diva Pink.
Real
Yes.
people.
Taking over.
Your
What y'all
homie Don
think?
Juan providing the vibes.
Oh, yeah, he does every week.
Oh, man, we
What's
need
up,
y'all
Don
to tune
Juan?
in every Tuesday, 6 p.m. to 7. T-Radio V. Radio and TV.
It is radio.
Radio and TV.
You're crazy.
Let's do another one.
You know what? Here, just watch for yourselves.
What's happening? It's your main Money B.
Everett. And celebs made quite a...
I want my MB.
I'm gone it.
And these are this week's... Tune in next...
Okay. Emphasis on.
Listen up, bro. Relax. I'm not going on letting.
What's happening, everybody? It's your man Money B. Wait, where's the camera? Where am I looking?
Hey, everyone. I'm Andy Dick.
What's up, y'all? It's Edie Don.
What are you doing, baby?
We rolling.
Oh,
I
am so sorry.
Next Friday.
Small
grade
doses.
Five.
That's what my mother says about me. That's so sad.
Small doses. Oh, great.
Who is your audience?
Men. No.
And that's it, folks.
Hello, T Radio V.
Hello for us.
Hi, guys. My name is Steve Renazizi.
My name is Mary Elizabeth Ellis.
My name is Katie Aselton.
You're watching TV on the radio, but you're not watching it, you're listening to it, because radio on TV.
Hi, T Radio V.
Keep that radio going inside that television set.
I love T Radio V.
Trust her.
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV. T Radio V.
We call it Dark Matter with Dave Navarro.
It's not like Amanda Joe, or it's just Joe?
Oh, it's just Joe with a dash after it.
Really? That's very, very strange. Joe Dash?
Are you the facts of life, Joe?
Are you the spawn of Down syndrome parents? J.O. Dash?
I think that we should all, for the rest of the show, add a dash to the ends of our names.
Word
So
up,
she
Dave
doesn't
Dash.
feel bad. Dan Dash.
Yes.
Just Dash. Todd Dash. Dave Dash. Joe Dash.
It's Dark Matter with Dave Navarro. Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on T Radio V.
T Radio V.
Go, go, go.
I'm so desperate in my mouth. Oh, God. Whenever you go to Thai food and you get a dish with meat and rice, ask them to put an over easy egg on top of it.
Oh my God.
And like how eggs
Ooh,
are
I'm
so
getting excited about this egg right now.
T Radio V is where you come to work and you drink and you get drunk.
Fork and Amazing. Mondays, 5 p.m. on T Radio V LA.
Go home.
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
And one of the greatest tragedies in life is getting to the end of your life and looking back and realizing it was mediocre and it didn't have to be that way.
The number one reason is people are unwilling to listen and care about what's important to the other person.
But what if you could be someone who dared to care about everybody in your life?
When you're in love, smoke gets in your eyes. But when you're anxious, you talk more than you listen.
I asked my wife a month ago, I said, I don't know whether to have an affair or buy a motorcycle. And she said, if you have an affair, I'll kill you. If you get the motorcycle, you'll kill yourself, go with the bike.
That's hilarious. His best joke ever. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. G's Toolbox. What do we need to know about our lives, our relationships? Talk to us, Doc.
Don't buy a motorcycle for your midlife crisis.
Okay,
but actually, what we all need to do is to practice WAIT. But you don't practice that on a radio talk show. What WAIT stands for is why am I talking?
Wow.
And in here we jump in because we want to keep things going. And when you're talking, what's important is to try to be a plusser and not a topper. And a plusser is when you add to what the other person's saying. And the way you often do that is to say to them, say more about that. Or really, or what if such and such? If you want to make a transition from what they're talking about to what you want to talk about, say, well, what if such and such? And you can shift it. And that's being a plus, you're adding value. The problem in this world is we are too often toppers. So you'll say something and then I'll compete with it. So you'll say, oh, my son's playing on his high school team. I'll say, oh,
well so
good.
is mine.
Mine's out in in the camp with the
my
Buffalo
son is
Bills.
LeBron James.
Yeah, that's right. And there's that temptation to be a topper and try to resist it, because there's also a saying: try to be more interested than you are interesting. Try to be more fascinated than fascinating. And you. I don't know how that would run on a radio show, but it'll make your relationships a lot better.
And what's the acronym again?
Wait. Why am I talking? So if you could sort of pause. In fact, when Veronica was on, one of the things I wanted to ask her, and she's not on, but let me ask you.
She'll be back.
But let me ask you guys. I think one of the most difficult things for everybody, but you tell me about the black community, is being able to just pause And I think one of the reasons we have problems pausing is that when you are reactive all the time, your being reactive is what holds you together. It doesn't move you ahead, but it holds you together. And I think if you pause, I think some people have this fear that when they pause, they'll start to come unglued, because what they are is they're in reactive mode.
Wow.
And that's what they're used to. It doesn't make things better, but that's what they're used to.
I had to pause this morning.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, there was a moment of pause.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
What happened?
So
Who you
pause.
talking to? I had a moment of that.
So pause and wait.
Yes.
And that's a tip for the day.
Very good. Dr. G's toolbox. Gotta use it. Today's topic is going to be a tough one. This is why we start the show with Dr. G. He gives you some tools, and then we give you some pistivity
throw some
so you can use those
grenades in the
tools.
middle of
Because it's
shit.
going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Right.
Today's topic, pay-per-view. Oh, goodness. Are you dealing with a co-parent who only allows you to see your child when you're current on your child support payments? A riveting look at the child support system and father's rights. Listen, if you're a dad having a problem, if you're a dad having an issue, get to the phone lines right now. 855-878-4652 is the number again. Today's topic, pay-per-view. Did you have to buy tickets to see your kid?
Time's up, Daddy. I gotta go. Bye.
What about the stripper window, Jeff?
Yeah. A lot
Tell
of
them
y'all,
about that.
A lot of you horrible mothers got your kids in the stripper window, and your ex has got to sit there and put money in, and then the window goes up, and he spends time with the child, and then when his money starts to go down, he's, wait, baby, wait, Daddy, put some more money in, Daddy, put some more money in. That's why.
That's terrible. That is terrible. I've got questions, and then I will introduce my guests who are in the building. We have an august panel that's going to drop hot milk duds on everybody rounds this part. Listen.
Yeah, I got a movie like that.
Can you be an advocate of father's rights even when your own child's father isn't a good one or paying one? I mean, that right there, that's a heavy question. A lot of times revenge is the impetus, right, for why we keep these kids away, right? Men do it too, but not in as vast in numbers. The numbers are crazy. Anyway, true or false? The family court system, Sean, you can talk to us about this at some point in the show. The family court system is reminiscent of a modern day slave auction block. This whole black single motherhood is turning us into breeders for the new privatized prison system. Somebody sent me that question. I don't know. True or false? 855-878-4652. How many children do you know that have been indoctrinated into the seemingly blameless cult of motherhood? Mom is right.
All the time. Mom is right.
Is motherhood beyond reproach regarding this situation? 855-878-4652. Do you think it's a good idea to start forcing women who collect child support to submit monthly receipts for their purchases?
That's a big one.
Would that be fair?
That's a
I
big
don't
one.
know, but the phone lines are hot. 855-878-4652. Is there such a thing as parental jealousy, where one parent is jealous of the relationship that the other parent has with the kids and then goes out to seek to damage that relationship because they don't share the same one? It's not as good, right? They might be viewed, because whenever you're raising kids in close proximity of mother and father, there's always good cop, bad cop in that dynamic.
Right.
So the bad cop might feel a little envious of the good cop's relationship and then seek to undermine it. Somebody call us, 855. You know the number, 878-4652. I've got another question, just one more, please. Just one. I got so many good questions, it's crazy. Anybody ever heard of the term parental alienation syndrome? I'm sure Sean has, right? Oh, it's going to be crazy. How is parental alienation syndrome, gaslighting, and Stockholm syndromes related? That's a tough question. These questions is crazy. Enough of the questions. Let me introduce the crew. You know Jeff Brown, comedian, intellectual, irritant extraordinaire. That's who he is. It's what he does. Funny, piss you off, make you laugh, nutshell, Jeff Brown. Then we've got Lord Whitey Locks. Lord Whitey Locks validates everything we say. No, wise man. We had to bring him in. Very intelligent, very insightful. A lot of people love him out here in the world, especially all of the contributions he brings to the show. Dr. Mark Goulston in the building. And a couple of my friends that I had to bring in that could weigh in on this topic. Young brother I met many, many years ago when he was just a young seedling, sapling coming out of the ground, and I knew he has the light of the Lord on him. He shall affect many in many ways.
The force is strong with this one.
Good. Yes. Author, poet, lecturer, teacher. The dude is, man, you don't understand how cold. I just like to line up with cold folk. He's a cold cat. If you never heard of him, you will know about him now. HBO, Def Jam poet, Ice Life in the building. Town business. Welcome to the show, brother. You laughing? He laughing at his intro. I'm sorry. I put too much on it.
No, it's fine.
It was good. Okay. No, you left out a couple of things.
A little understated.
right. And also author of I Want Out. Wow. It's better this way. Move on, make smart choices, and transform your life. What you need to know about managing divorce, custody, child support, and family court. Sean Collison has returned to the Zoe Up Morning Show. Hey, man, we missed you. The last show you did with us, people, it's been reverberating for almost a year and a half.
This is the only show I ever went on where people actually called me afterwards for business.
They still hit me up like, what's the dude name? The mediator man, the man that mediates. Oh, you mean Sean?
Do you need a brother in court with you?
Exactly.
Do you need to go before the judge? Well, call the brother with brush waves, the only lawyer in Los Angeles
with the brush
with
waves.
the dope brush waves.
I'm just saying, man, and a lot of people don't know his history.
That's a bad boy.
Oh, he's a cold cat. He's
a
legendary MC from back in the day.
Oh, what?
Most people know nothing of his rhyme history.
Snatch the mic from the bailiff and put it down.
Hey, got me 3 Facebook followers right now.
Hysterical. So listen,
My
you guys
grandmother, my mother
heard.
are 2 of them.
You guys heard the questions. Pay-per-view. How many brothers, men, women? Because people say we're imbalanced. They say, we beat up on the women.
You don't have no horrible broads on the show, though.
That's true. Let me ask you this. How is parental alienation, and this is for everyone, with all of the questions we've already asked, how is parental alienation related to the fatherlessness epidemic in America? They like to blame daddy for not being there, but parental alienation happens 80% to 20% in terms of custodial and non-custodial parents. 80% of all custodial parents are mamas. What are we doing? Talk to me, Sean. What's going on?
Let's have clarity. First of all, parental alienation is not a legal thing. It is something that is coming up on the radar that is confusing the parties to think that I'm being alienated. So people look for excuses. Dad has to do his role as much as mom is doing her role.
Right.
There's a maternal role that has been sort of the absolute. The tender years will kill that theory. Men do step up, can step up. A lot of times men are soft-hearted. We don't want to come in as heavy-handed as the woman who will smack you in your head. But when it comes to the child, it is a joint responsibility. So the court does not really indoctrinate anyone into anything. You bring the drama into the courtroom. In my new book, I Want Out, people think that I'm referring to I want out of the relationship. This book is about dealing with the narcissist,
You want
dealing
out
with-
of the thought process.
You want out of the madness.
Yeah.
You want out of the craziness. But sometimes in our generation, no one explains to you how to get out of that. So I come along to be of service and say, hey, let me flip you to this page on how to deal with a narcissist. Now, I'll tell you this. This morning, my cousin calls me at 6:30 this morning. He's on New York time. His girlfriend punched him in the eye. The baby's crying in the background. He paid rent money last night. She took the rent money, texted her boyfriend that I have the money, and punched him in the face.
Wow.
He's calling me at 6:30 because the time difference.
Yeah.
Right? So I immediately said to him, collect yourself. He said, my blood vessels popped in my eye. I need to know what to do. I could have told him to Google my book, but he didn't have time.
No.
Right.
So
Ain't got time to read.
I said, what I want you to do, get your keys, tell her, she's screaming in the background. I said, look, I want you to walk out the door, tell her you're going to go calm down, and you're going to collect yourself, and you'll be right back. Because the last incident they had with the police, when he called the police, when he got beat up the last time, she called the police too. So 2 cop cars showed up.
Yeah.
She went in the bathroom and cut her wrist with a little thing so it bled a little bit.
Yeah.
And punched herself in the face.
Yeah.
So when the cops rolled in, they said both of you can go to jail, press charges on each other.
Because of the injuries.
Right.
Right.
But there was no victim. They were both a victim. So I said, you have to escape that this time. He's been a stay-at-home dad. He's 20 years old, working at the car wash, and she's trying to work at a big law firm. So he feels she has the upper hand, but he's in a rage. So I said, calm down, get out the house. She took the car keys, held them behind her back. The number one thing we're going to try to do when the woman takes the keys, we're going to try to get them. When you try to get them, you're going to scratch
Assault.
her, and she's going to have bruises.
Right.
When the police show up, she shows her bruises, you are going to jail.
Yes.
So
'Cause
you
you've
have to be
inflicted-
smart.
yeah.
Right. This is all about knowledge. This game has been going on. This is a $50 billion business, family court.
Wow. You shouldn't be called family court. It should be called mama's court.
Well, you know, there's a movie out called Divorce Corp that exposes the family court that came out. It went straight to DVD because no one wanted to go and watch a movie about court. But it's
Wow.
called Divorce Corp. But I talk about it all in my book, The Narcissist, The Bipolar, Parental Alienation, and Should Parents Give Up Receipts? That's a good one.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, it's getting crazy early. Oh! We'll be back at 2.2 pay-per-view. Holla!
A battle over child support has landed a Houston man a jail sentence.
Yeah, but what makes this particular case unusual is the man is claiming it's not because he didn't pay child support. He says it's because he overpaid his child support. Eyewitness News reporter Damon Fernandez is live at the courthouse to unravel this for us. Damon?
And Melanie, we watched that father walk into court back here this morning to turn himself in. He and his attorneys say they plan to ask a civil court judge to reconsider that order, sending him to jail over this controversial child support matter. Clifford Hall's child support issues began getting national and major social media attention after he and his attorney began speaking out this month. The 43-year-old father claims he was unfairly sentenced to 180 days in jail after allegedly paying too much child support and seeing his 11-year-old son too much. Court documents show a judge ordered Hall in contempt back in December after determining he owed for inconsistent payments over several months. Hall and his attorney say the state never notified his employer of a court-ordered increase. And once receiving notice about the arrears, Hall claims he not only immediately paid up, but overpaid. Hall says he's also being punished for violating court-ordered visitation by picking up his son early from school and keeping him too long over Christmas. Hall walked out of the courtroom during his last hearing and has been keeping a low profile with lingering jail sentences. I spoke with him a few days ago about his child support issues.
I can understand if you're not doing, hey, whatever then. But if this is no way the best interest of a child. Not when you have parents that are active and involved in their kids' lives.
KTRK legal analyst Joel Androphy has a different take on Hall's child support troubles. He says it's
Radio V.
We're back with Politically Naughty with Mary Kay on TRadioV.com. I don't feel like it would be as big of a deal these days if I,
You'd be surprised. The most powerful weapon in the world is
This is a no-holds-barred conversation.
So anyway, everybody started drinking my bathwater. I loved it.
That is amazing.
Kitten, you need a movie about your life. If
Maybe-
Mary Carey was governor, we wouldn't be having these problems in America.
Exactly. I know.
Get politically naughty with Mary Carey. Mondays at 4 p.m. on T Radio V.
T Radio V.
Go.
I'm so desperate in my mouth. Oh, God. Whenever you go to Thai food and you get a dish with meat and rice, ask them to put an over easy egg on top of it.
Oh my God.
And like how eggs
Ooh,
are
I'm
so
getting excited about this egg right now.
T Radio V is where you come to work and you drink and you get drunk.
Fork and Amazing. Mondays 5 p.m. on T Radio V LA.
T Radio V.
I think what I do with Zev is trolling.
For sure.
Zev hates more than anything is he'll tweet something and then I'll retweet it right away because he wants it to like wait and then have its day. Zev's a fun guy to troll. Everybody should try trolling Zev. I highly recommend it.
I'm pretty sure the Lakers would be a way to troll that.
That would be a good way to troll Zev. By the way, we're at 855-878.
Meet your death too.
Let's Get Digital. Wednesday 6 p.m. on T Radio V LA.
Hi, I'm Ty Simpkins.
Miss Danielle Basutti.
Hi, this is Brooke Peoples.
I'm Jocelyn Donahue.
Hi, I'm Keegan Allen, and you're watching
T Radio V. T Radio V.
T Radio V, radio in TV.
Is that right?
Yes.
T Radio V. Yo.
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV. T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
I want to give a shout out to my kids' real daddies. Thank you, government, for putting me on. I mean, you was the definition of a real father. Because when your kids is hungry, they have food stamps. Yeah, we shop at Walmart. Yeah, we shop at Publix. We shop at Winn-Dixie. When your kids need shelter, yes, you have housing. And you also have Section 8 for a lot of us. And when our kids fall, get hurt, or sick, they have Medicaid. Yes, we go to the ER, we go to the walk-in clinic, and we also can make a doctor's appointment. I get their prescriptions with no hesitation. Now, if that's not the definition of a real father, making sure your kids have food, shelter, and health care, I don't know what it is. So like I said, thank you, government, for being my kid's daddy, and thank you for putting me on.
Wow.
How did the bathroom become the local film site for all ratchet broads?
Right. RNN, Ratchet News Network.
It's devastating.
Talk to us.
It's devastating, and watching that, it brought on for me, the larger ramification of this issue, which is how it impacts our families, therefore how it impacts
society.
how we, when we talk about black folks, function in society. So on one hand, there's an issue like, so for example, around the way in the hood, there's two things you can't be. You can't be a hater or a snitch. Those are two things that don't ride in the community.
Right.
However, you can be a black man in our community not taking care of your child, and there's no stigma associated with that.
Right.
Nobody is like, oh, I can't be like, yeah, this my hater partner, we about to go kick it. Nobody want to do that. But we can all know that you got a friend that got 4 kids up the street he never sees, and there's no stigma associated with that. He can still come to the barbecue, he can hang out, and that's devastating. But on the other flip of it is this narrative that we just saw, where there's an aggressive, apprehensive, and antagonistic attitude from black women towards black men that I think that for the most part, black women are taught to look at black men through a white man lens, a racist white man's lens. So, typically the white male power structure doesn't have an interest in you if you can't make him some money, if you can't serve his greater need, and I think that we watch black women look at black men the same way, going, well, what can you do for me? What money can you provide? What entertainment
It's
can
always
you provide
goods and
for me?
services, yeah.
Yeah. And then and that creates this callous in our relationships. And then when we go over to, and I appreciate what the brother said about having that men have to do their research. When we talk about black men, we associate the courthouse, any type of system, with the police. So the period. You know, and
nothing good comes of this.
Innocent or not. You could be innocent and well intended
and go to jail.
Or get your ass beat or be shot. It's
This
a major
evening.
when you like, oh, and I know it's not what you were saying, but the idea of, oh, just go to court and handle it, and we not equipped, you know. I think but the end result is we are producing children and families that are in ultimate dysfunction, and that should be our reason for resolving this issue, so that we can thrive healthy.
Exactly.
That's what I think.
Exactly. Jeff?
A few things. One, I'm going to have to say for my rant, because that was kind of dope that you just brought up.
Thank you.
Save it for the rant.
Save it for the rant.
Yeah.
Okay. You stupid. I don't think we ever consider the court system as this thing where two people are going in and it's equal, and this judge is.
There are no scales.
Yeah.
No.
There's no scales. So we never look at this way. I never walk into court going, okay, this is gonna go.
I've got a good shot.
No,
I've got a chance.
And what?
And you can't cop a plea in child support.
Exactly. What this society has set up is something that is against nature. It is against nature for a father to care for, to provide for, to nurture around the mother, which is what you have to do. Because I can no longer love my kids through you because you are this wall of hate.
Jeff Brown, great concept. I want you to finish. How many brothers do we know, and this is for the panel, who has to communicate around the mom to the kid? Right? Whether it's going through auntie, I got to call auntie to find out because me and mom ain't good. Or I got to call mama's mama to get in contact with the kid to find it because we not good. How many brothers you know, just to speak to that parenting around the mama concept? Go ahead.
I was one of them. But like my man Sean said, you have to really deal with this system. And you can't bellyache about how crooked it is or how crooked you feel it is or how it works. There are certain things that you can't bring to it. You just have to deal with it. The not dealing with it. This fungus likes dark. It's going to grow. It's going to grow. If you keep this in the dark of your circumstances, it's not going to get better. The kids aren't going to get younger. She's not going to get nicer. You got to deal with your shit. You don't have a point.
And and then back to you, Sean. And then the doc, to speak to what Ice was saying, I think, I'm going to disagree just a little bit. I do think there are pockets of brothers across the country that we check the dude that ain't what we are, that ain't really up to snuff. But where I will agree is there's not a uniformity across the board.
Like it used to be.
In terms of we all ain't dealing with you, right? Sometimes men are more like, that's your business, man. Handle your business. I ain't in your, But I think if there was a uniformity, right, where you see back in the day with Jim Brown,
them dudes,
Ali, all them guys came around Ali to support. They weren't gonna let Ali be a deadbeat.
Right.
You understand? They weren't gonna let that happen. So we don't have that kind of uniformity. Now we have a kind of singularity going on. But in pockets, there are groups of brothers that won't allow that kind of dad to come through. You feel me? Doc, what do you think? You don't understand the black experience, but you will validate it with what you're about to say.
Well, something I do understand. This is just another tip when you're dealing with an emotionally tense situation. I wonder what Sean would say. Something that I tell everybody is actions don't respond to words. And a hostile voice is kind of like an action. It responds to consequences. So the key is pick something that's not overkill or underkill. So like what you're saying to your friend over the phone is this is escalated. There is no words The consequence is put space between you and the other person, put space between them without any chance of their bruising themselves. And so I think the key is if you can pause and think of all the actions that the other person's taking that can ignite you, think of all the potential consequences ahead of time that you could do. The counter actions, don't do overkill because then you have to take it back. Don't do underkill because it's ineffective.
Mm-hmm.
But come up with actions that will respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm hearing is, geez, and I guess I don't know, some of the white experience is the same. When you have kind of a dominating, controlling, has to be right mom, and all they understand is you agree with me. Anything different, and there's hell to pay. So how do you?
Maybe he does understand the black experience.
So how do you
You're a
deal?
little black, ain't you?
Yeah. How do you? But that's how do you deal with that?
Right.
It's my way or
I
a
dated
highway.
one of the Pointer Sisters in '81.
Right after the filming of Car Wash.
Right.
No, but I get your point.
Yeah, but what do you do when you don't have a point of view? Anything that's other than 100% agreement with their point of view means that that child's going to be kept from you and told that you're wrong.
How many children are out there holding in what they really think and feel because they don't want to offend either parent?
Oh my God!
Hang on, Zoe. Can I just add to Jeff and to the doc? See, when you're in a fight or flight position, your entire system is taken over. So when he called me this morning, I become the voice of reason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the little voice that says, get out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
But back to you, Jeff, when you talk about no scales in court, there's actually scales. You know, the lady of justice, she holds the scales.
Libra.
And she's blindfolded.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem with family court. I'm explaining it to you one time. This is going to be deep.
Go deep.
The blindfold is for objectivity. It represents objectivity.
Mm-hmm.
That means if you don't have enough money, you're not from a silver spoon background, we're supposed to not treat anyone any different.
Supposed to.
I'm going to get there.
Okay.
The problem with family court is not a court of law. It is a court of equity. What happens between you and your spouse is subjective because it operates from each one of your point of view. So when you walk into a courtroom, you want to explain to the judge what happened to you, which is subjective because the judge wasn't there. There is no objectivity. There's no absolute.
Right.
So now it comes down to equity. That's how OJ got off because it wasn't what happened, it's what you can prove happened.
Yeah. Wow.
So when you go into a court thinking you're right and it's going to be a good day, the reason you never feel that way is because the judge is not analyzing law in family court. It is a court of equity.
Wow.
I would also.
That's why if I get the better lawyer, I'm gonna beat you every time.
Because you get it.
We gonna twist it.
Yeah.
It's
We
not
gonna
about.
flip
It's not
it.
about the truth.
Man, in this book, I'm gonna tell everyone: if you want to win, get the book. If you want to flip it, get the book. Because see, you have to know what the enemy is doing at all times. Can't beat him.
So listen,
joining him.
This is what we got to do really quickly. We're going to break, but before we go to break, can mothers become a type of deadbeat parent?
Of course.
By keeping the father / non-custodial parent away from the children because of lack of pay.
Yeah.
Is that deadbeat parenting? Somebody call me in 2.2 seconds. I'll be back. Holla!
The confidence is confirmating, my condemnation is canceled. Catch me in the constellation.
This is Swoop, and this is Real Talk. I wanted to talk about all the black athletes that are going broke behind paying all this money in child support. Evander Holyfield has filed for bankruptcy because he owes so much money in child support. Tara Owens has filed for bankruptcy because he owes so much money in child support. Warren Sapp has filed for bankruptcy because he owes so much money in child support. Travis Henry has filed for bankruptcy because he owes so much money in child support. I think the biggest mistake that so many male black athletes keep making is getting multiple women pregnant. They'll go around here and sleep with all these women, and when all these women go file for child support, they end up going broke. This is a mistake that they keep making. There's no excuses for this type of ignorance. Evander Holyfield has 12 kids with 10 different women. Antonio Cromartie has 10 kids with 8 different women. Travis Henry has 11 kids with 9 different women. There's no excuses for this type of ignorance. There's no excuses for this type of coonery. Life is all about choices. When you make bad choices, you have to suffer the consequences for the choices that you made.
Say hello to DJ Asra.
DJ, man, my ears are like totally blown out.
Nominated for PETA's Sexiest Vegan Next Door, but with one little problem.
I'm forced to go through this dinner and it's course after course, and I'm like, I'm gagging because, as everyone knows, I'm vegan, so I'm like, oh.
She's sexy and smart. Sexy and smart.
Hello, I'm the animal rights activist.
She walks the walk and she talks the talk.
Let's just say that my day job is a little weird.
And that's just how we like it. DJ Asra, T-Radio V's Sexy Vegan Next Door.
Hi, I'm Kristen Renton from Sons of Anarchy.
Hi, I'm Grant Reynolds.
Hey, I'm Katie Cleary of World Animal News.
Hi, I'm Ricky Rackman, reminding you to support the Relay for Life of Madison County, May 31st.
Donate or participate.
The American Cancer Society Relay for Life movement symbolizes hope
and our shared goal to end a disease that threatens the lives of
so many people we love. I mean, I'll bet you know somebody that was affected with cancer.
Donate or participate.
Thank you.
I'm Priscilla Prince. Yes, you are, and I'm Michael Desbar. And you can see us both on the Michael Desbar Show on Thursday from 3 to 4 on T-Radio V.
Drums. Do you like drums?
Drummers. Tell them about the show. Come on.
Well, we like interviewing only the best drummers in the world on Drum Smack TV. Isn't
The
that
best.
right?
The best.
Only
drummers
the
in world,
best. Only the
honestly.
best.
And then Brad. We interview Brad every week. But we actually talk about drums and drumming and drummers.
Check it out. It's an informal, interactive show that's all about drums, drummers, and drumming. Please check it out. It's pretty rad.
Smacking.
That's a good one. Smacking.
That's the drums. That's the smack.
Smack.
Are we all smacking?
Smack. Only on T-Radio V. Drum Smack TV. Watch it. It's funny and good and all that stuff.
And smack.
And Brad will be there too.
That's right.
T-Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Parental alienation is on the rise. If you're worried that your child is a victim of parental alienation, be on the lookout for the following behaviors. Brainwashed by lies. These kids are basically brainwashed by their parent and now regard their targeted parent as the enemy or as a worthless human being. Tragically, I have seen such division lasting for decades and causing fundamental emotional damage that cannot be repaired. Contempt, rejection, and disrespect. The child makes unkind comments and acts with contempt, rejection, and disrespect for the targeted parent. These comments are often irrational, insulting, and traumatizing to the parent who feels helpless and hopeless in stopping the madness. Rehearsed answers. The child has been taught what to say and do to hurt the targeted parent as much as possible. In fact, he may exaggerate the faults of the targeted parent to justify his actions. Long-term damage. There is minimal data on the long-term effects of such alienation on kids. However, we do know that the earlier in life the separation from the parent occurs, the more traumatic it is for the child. The basic tenets of loving relationships, trust, loyalty, and forgiveness are never learned, and the child may struggle to build a bond to their other parent for a lifetime. There are several steps that you can take to preserve your relationship with your child. Educate yourself. Parental alienation can be difficult to prove, especially in a highly intense forum, such as ongoing child custody battles. There are several books, though, with great resources that are must-reads for parents who are ready to fight back. Remain calm. Understand that you have been systematically undermined and that you are going to have to remediate the situation. Focus on what you can control and don't stress about other factors. Do not lose your temper. Reject your child or insult your ex in front of your child. Don't play into their hands. You'll only fortify their case if you lose your temper. Work with great experts. Hire a psychologist and a lawyer who are proven experts in parental alienation. The therapist must acknowledge the massive psychological impact such alienation has on the child and on the targeted parent. They need to help you remain game ready as you navigate this process. Your attorney needs to possess a solid understanding of this type of emotional abuse and how serious it is. Substantial legal skills and great strategies need to be brought to bear to fix this horrendous issue. For more information and tips, please follow me on Twitter at Dr. Gehring, friend Gehring Up on Facebook, and visit my blog at GehringUp.com. I'm Dr. Sylvia Gehring.
And this is why I say it's a damn game, because it's split down the middle. You have some psychologists and clinicians and psychiatrists that acknowledge and recognize a burgeoning syndrome. Then you have others that argue and say it's not a syndrome. There's no science to back it. But what we have are living, fractured families. That's what we have on board. Now, I know a gang of brothers. I got my homeboy Poet, does a lot of rhyming and stuff. We play a lot of his music. This dude here has been through hell and high water. I mean, his youngest kid is on, they done gave her meds. They done put her in all types of, medical supervision because she's been revolting against the mom because the mother has always disliked the dad after the child was born. So she did everything in her power to undermine, to relabel, to say his family ain't good, he ain't about nothing. The child's grandfather slapped her in the mouth like a grown-ass man because she spoke out against the treatment that her mother gave to her father. All she knows is every time I'm with my dad, it's good. It's meaningful. It's purposeful. I'm happy. There's something happening. Next thing you know, promiscuous early on. Next thing you know, running away from home. Next thing you know, trying to get back with dad any kind of way she can. But she knows my experience with dad undermines the narrative that came from mom. This is what I mean by can a mother, because this motherhood is some God shit. Yeah. It's some spiritual stuff. So if there is some evil, some bitterness, some enmity that's intermingled into the parenting, is mother not the worst parental scud missile ever created? Somebody speak on that. Let's go deeper.
I think that there's go ahead.
Well, I sent you something, Zoke.
I got it.
There's an article I wrote for divorcemagazine.com called Divorce Therapy, because years ago, I just do too many different things. I should have stuck with this. Years ago, sometimes the court or people would send me a divorcing couple, and it's pretty simple. In this article, what I talk about here, here's child A, and
we got it up right here. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's child A, and here's child B.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I meet with the couple, I'd say, I don't care about the two of you. I'm here because the court cares about your kids. So child A is focused. Child B is scattered. Child A can bounce back, is resilient. Child B quits. Child A is persistent. Child B bails. Child A is passionate. Child B is bored. Mm-hmm. Child A has some goals. Child B has no goals. Mm-hmm. Child A handles disappointment okay, and child B is easily upset. There's a bunch of other things. So the idea is, what I say to them is, I'm not here to see he said, she said, whatever. I'm here. What is each of your plans so that your child at 18 is child A and not child B? I don't care.
Wow.
And then how do we hold you? How do we hold you accountable to those things? And that's what I'm going to report back to the court, because I think most people would agree that child A has a better chance of succeeding and child B has a better chance of failing. And because you get into the he said, she said, and you're interfering, you referee, you get nowhere.
And I would encourage men and women to apply that same model when choosing a partners.
Yeah,
what I want, what I want our child, the child I have with somebody, to be like this or be like that. I think we are encouraged as men. Women have a whole stigma that curbs their sexual enthusiasm.
Or it's supposed to.
Right, it's supposed to. Yeah. Well, it's well, what it does is it's like, well, but men, we're just encouraged. You know, encourage, have sex.
Go get 'em, Tiger.
Go get 'em.
You're a winner.
Men get the pussy. Women give it up. You know, so we're encouraged, and men, especially young brothers, making some fucked up decisions about who they having children with. Women too, of course, it's two in the bed, not at the table. And I also would want to lace young brothers with some game to say that men set the tone of a relationship and women facilitate that tone. So, for example, if you're hanging out with a woman, y'all, no baby in the mix yet. Y'all hanging out, y'all dating, y'all having sex, y'all cool. It's relatively casual. And one day in the car, she starts flashing about nothing. She starts yelling, you know, well, you said we were going to. That's a defining moment in your relationship.
Absolutely.
And the tone you set. If you turn around and you start arguing, the tone you've set is that
that's just how we do this.
Argue.
This is what we do. Yeah.
But if you turn to this woman and look at her and go, you know, when you calm down, we'll have a conversation.
What do you think? Some advice that I give couples before they go on to get married or whatever, I say to them, have 3 knockdown, drag-out arguments. And I'm not I'm not talking about physical, but you want to see the other person at their worst before you get committed to them because you're going to see it afterwards. And so is the other person have to be right at all costs and they humiliate you, get away from that person.
Yeah.
But I think you need to argue, have 3 arguments where you see that a difference of opinion becomes a disagreement, an argument, but it doesn't become a fight or a war.
Well, go ahead, Jeff.
I tell you why I disagree with that. And this is because
Hey, Jeff, you are never to disagree with Whitey Locks, okay?
Okay, well,
he's right all the time.
Okay, I'll find a way to
disagree. No.
I don't know
just
what the hell to do with that.
It's just a suggestion.
Okay. Something I should have followed when choosing mates that I did not until the woman that I am with now, that I should have done, was this. I picked a girl up one day. I was late. I was writing on a television show, and we went long. So we were supposed to get together at 7. I got to her house at 7:45. I called her. I told her what was going on. She gets in the car. Her attitude is stank. I try to talk to her. She goes ballistic. She just gets real funky. I politely turned around and drove back to her house. I didn't say a word. I sat there until she got through. I said, tell you what, maybe there's an army of fairly intelligent, well-read, gainfully employed cats that ain't gonna whoop your ass that is lining up to date you, and I'm in their way. I tell you what, why don't I let you deal with them for 60 days, and I'll call you. I'll call you. I didn't take that course with relationships. My point being is that I don't believe in having knockdown, dragged out. I've been with my wife for 5 years now. We don't, that's not how we resolve conflict.
So you just stopped at the beginning. Good.
Right.
We stopped at the beginning.
So listen, when we come back, our resident wise man, the Magi, has entered the fray. Yes, he's a Magi. He's a Bobby. Uncle Bobby, author of Real Men Don't Play. When we come back, he gonna hit us with his old school wisdom like only Uncle Bobby can. You feel me? 2.2 seconds, crazy topic, pay-per-view. You better get current or you ain't gonna see your little boo. Holla!
The biggest losers weighing, trying to drop off their numbers. Cause everybody got a plan, preparing for summer. Women displaying their body parts, but they want respect.
I'm Laura Samoza.
I'm Sterling Gardner.
And we are Between the Sheets every Monday here, 3 p.m., TRadioV.com.
T-Radio V.
That's right, it's T-Radio V, Radio in TV. What is that face?
He wants to see our hands.
That's Radio in TV. Wah, 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 wah.
We're not a couple.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This your boy Crazy Bone.
Man, I'm the bum Keith G, man.
And whenever you sitting at home and can't shake the monkey off your back,
yeah,
then just know every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. You can tune in to the Quick Fix and get your fix on, man.
Right here on TRadioV.com, baby.
Radio and TV.
Now, how they gonna see us on the radio then?
Radio, I don't know. Or is it TV and radio?
But it's
one of them.
I gotta figure this radio and TV thing out though, bro. I don't understand. I'm gonna tell my mom how she gonna see
Get
us.
it together.
Engaging interviews with intriguing public figures. Informed analysis of the week's most important news.
The world's best bands.
Langdon Nation, saving the world one dirty joke at a time. Saturdays from 1 to 3, exclusively on T-Radio V.
Oh my God, I'm only gay for pay.
Hi, I'm Moby, and you're watching T-Radio V.
T-Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Oh my God, how he has a rap career is beyond me. I don't get it. And he takes his shirt off. Oh my God, he looks like 50 pounds of chewed Tootsie Rolls with his... All right. Now, you are in white fashion. You know white boys always leave the house like they finna help somebody move. Resist and defend the horrible hoes. There are some horrible people. And what you need to do is start policing your own. Those of you who follow us often and for an extended period of time understand that this is a subject that is near and dear to my heart about child custody and child support and dealing with parents. And I'm glad we got my man Sean here today.
Collison,
that's the dude. There are three things, take it from me, in my experience, that you cannot go into a courtroom with. Right, wrong, and common sense. Those three things have no place in a court of law. The judge is not interested in your version of either of those three things.
Virgin?
Your
version.
Your virgin. He ain't interested. Yes,
Okay.
your virgin. You bringing your virgin in there. And she about to get it, okay? You have got to approach this, fathers, and this is to the fathers who are out there. Just to make this as personal as possible, I just went back to court, and my child support payments for 2 children are now $16 a month. 16. Let me put it this way. If I give that bitch a 20, somebody owe me $4.
Damn.
The only way to get that was for me to ignore the fact that what it seemed like in court was that they were going, here, mother, here's how you get what you want. You fill out this 20-word jigsaw puzzle. Father, in order to get what you want, you need to learn how to taxi, fly, and land the space shuttle, and it leaves in 20 minutes. Now, I can complain about how fear of heights and how it's not fair and how the hell am I supposed to get out to Edwards Air Force Base that fast? And I don't know nothing about a plane. Or I can get to learn about flying this goddamn space shuttle and get done what I need to get done. You don't have the luxury. You don't have the luxury of just saying, damn, this court system ain't shit. Damn, this broad is horrible. Damn, no, all that's over with. All of the, man, I shouldn't have been, and everybody telling you, wow, well, dude, you fucked her. That's where this came from. Yeah, what about now? Get to now and stop giving the women so much power. You give them a whole bunch of power when you don't figure out what you need to do. Do what you need to do. Pray. Ask people that's been in it. Buy this goddamn book. Do something. But sitting at the crib hollering about this broad is not the final answer. It just isn't.
Wow. So I think what Jeff is saying, brothers, is ignorance is no excuse of the law.
Yes, and the last thing I'm saying is that if a father with his child is the manifestation of God in that child's life, then you mothers keeping them away are the manifestation of the devil.
Damn.
And may flesh-eating gnats infest your front lace.
Your
Lace front.
Your lace front?
Lace front.
lace?
Your weave.
Your
May
wig.
they infest your weave. and
Your
eat your
wig
scalp.
helmets.
Yes.
Right. So with that said, author, all-around sage and guru has joined the show because he has an experience that, I'm telling you, it can speak volumes to what we're talking about today. Without further ado, my uncle is in the building. Volunteer family member straight from the state, Murfreesboro.
Uncle Bobby.
Uncle Bobby in the building. Talk to us about this, Bobby. I know you've been listening. Tell us what's going on. Give us some wisdom.
Well, first and foremost, I can tell you what not to do when confronted with a failed marriage and the subsequent child support issues. My son is now 25 years old, and we have a very strained relationship because we never did live together. His mother and I divorced when he was less than a year old. And the biggest mistake that I made was to become emotional about the process. When we went to court, I got everything that I asked for except physical custody. And for the next 3 years, that's basically what it was. I would see him from time to time, and there was no real bond in the process. And after that third year, we had an episode, me and his mom, wherein we just could not reconcile our differences. And I basically told her I wasn't going to give her another dime to raise my son to hate me. And I felt good about it at first. I mean, I took a stand, on principle. But what I didn't take into consideration was the impact that was going to have not only on him, but on me. Because I knew that she and I needed to have that discussion and put him first. And it wasn't going to ever be about money to me because I had already gone through a childhood without a father, and I knew the impact that had on me. So it wasn't about making a financial contribution because that wasn't really what I missed out on. I missed out on that learning experience, that exposure to the ways of my father. And the older my son got, the more he became, in many instances, me. Because the worst thing a child can ever hear from the mother is, boy, you just like your daddy.
He ain't shit and you ain't shit.
Tell it all. And you don't even know who he is, right?
Right.
So I've talked to a lot of men, particularly the men in my book, Real Men Don't Play, because what happened is my own personal development was retarded because I didn't know really what kind of man to be. I saw different images that I was drawn to in my youth, but it's nothing like knowing who your father is, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
Because I have raised two of my nephews, and I used to always tell them, I said, look here, man, whatever you do, don't ask that question if you can get to your pops. Even if he rejects you, you'll know what not to be. And that's just as important as having positive role models. I don't even like using that phrase, role model, but real model, because you can draw from a wino what not to do, or a junkie or anything else. So as far as this issue is concerned and how I deal with it now is you have to fight for the right to be in your child's life. I got a partner right now going through this because he done paid the money. And it ain't about the money. It's about the instruction. It's about the exposure to male tendencies and male predilections that children without fathers in the household suffer the most from.
But then again, that's a great point, Bobby, that you bring up. I think we played a video earlier, the sister with the blonde helmet on, talking about how the government is her kid's father, and that was an example of a real father. So I think the narrative has to change with regards to that. Like, at the end of the day, the presence of a father to his daughter or his son is worth more money than you could get, because what happens is, like I tell sisters all the time, 23 chromosomes from you, 23 chromosomes from him create the 46 to his story. Just look at them as chapters in a book. If you keep him away from those 23 chromosomes, it's 23 chromosomes in a book he hasn't read that will reveal to him who he really is. With my son, my oldest son, I reveal all of my flaws to him. And I put him in a seat to say, how did I handle that? Did you see how I acted out? Who am I in that moment? And my son is like, well, you know, I'll tell him, grade me. And he'll say, no, Dad, you could have handled that differently. But then I say, why did I put you in that seat, Noop? What is he? Well, because I know at some point, maybe not the same kind of situation or circumstance, that I may find myself with the choice to respond as you did or in a better way. And I say, that's the only way I can teach you is by failing in front of you and being open for you to critique me.
See, so that's beautiful. And I think part of the issue is that most black women are not even imagining or ever, by themselves not being raised by a father, a proper man, imagining that when they take their son or daughter away from their father, that they're taking them away from that experience. And I think, again, there's an article I wrote for Huffington Post called Kicking Black Boys Out of Class, Teaching Black Girls a Lesson.
Great article. I read it.
Right on, bro. And that piece is about how black women are indoctrinated at 8 years old in how to see and what there's no expectation for brothers. And another thing that isn't popular to say in the barbershop is when you see, remember back in the day, a woman get mad and bust out your window, slash your tires or some shit, you know. Why is she doing it? She's doing it because she can't beat your ass, because she can't stop you from fucking whoever you fucking. She can't get, so it's a power thing.
Right.
So what the state provides, brilliantly evil, to a irritated, seemingly powerless black woman is, oh, well, here go another stick, and it's better than beating the car, and it's better than,
I see.
So I think, and this is what wouldn't be popular in the conversation, I think part of our ownership, if it's about the kids, and not to pick a side, but if it's about getting to the healthier situation for the kid, part of what we gotta own is, what are brothers doing that put sisters in these positions where they be feeling powerless?
Right. There we go.
Let me
Sean?
just weigh in real quick.
Yeah.
You know, I love what Unc said. That is accurate. But so you brought up this 23 chromosome thing. Look, here's the deal, man. When you have a child with someone, it doesn't create a union between you and the other party, but it does substantiate a union between you and that child.
Yes.
From ground zero, you have to be involved with your seed.
Right.
If you want to keep it hood, we'll go with the seed. So now I'm going to raise my child and do everything in my control as the man in his life to be there. If we don't work out in the so-called union that you subjectively think that our having a child created,
right,
now you're lost in translation.
Right.
Because my obligation is to the child. So I'm going to raise the child. When we get to court, I'm going to be able to say I attended every doctor appointment.
Yeah.
I went to every school PTA meeting. I know the teachers. You have to be involved. You can't wait to the court date and come in there with 3 or 4 witnesses and your cousin and 2 other people talking about I deserve to be in the kid's life.
He tied his shoes once. Jeff?
I mean, come on, man. Let's look at this as when we're talking about equality and equity and all of these transitions. I want to be at the hospital. You don't have to beg me. When we talk about the money, I'm going to tell you about this. Sometimes when my kid's mom asks me for money, now notice I've referenced her as kid's mom. There's been some things she's done to me and I want to call her a bitch, this, that, and the other. But when I think about when she says, hey, I need $100, I pay the money because that same $100, I'll spend it at dinner in Vegas.
Wow.
I give up the money, keep the peace, and keep moving.
Wow.
I'm going to make more money.
Wow.
Money come and go. I'd rather give it to my kids.
Good point.
Hate
good
on me
point.
if you want, but I'm paying my kids' future. I'm going to be there for them. And money comes and goes. It's not going to stop me. So we have to stop making excuses for the men. We have to can't let them off the hook.
No, absolutely not. We got something coming too.
All right.
Should a shared parenting bill / law be passed in all 50 states like the one that was passed in South Dakota?
For the receipts?
Shared parenting out the gate.
Out the gate.
50-50
Yes.
out the gate. We'll be back at 2.2. Holla!
Yes.
The inevitable to prep you for the end and do the bullet come back and do the same thing again from the womb to the tomb.
Andy D on T-Radio V. Bing, bang, bing, boom, right?
Yeah.
Andy D on T-Radio V. Bobbity, bibbity, bobbity, boo. Andy D on T-Radio V. The Andy Dick Show, Wednesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. on T-Radio V.
Wow!
But
Paul-
we'll do it. We'll do it better when the show actually starts.
T-Radio V.
What did you play opposite Andy, Eric? Do you remember?
Andy and I worked as two employees at a network.
Okay. Oh, you're
And
forgetting the other thing.
I played a news anchor, and he played a reporter.
Okay, but the other thing you did, the thing you did on the Andy Dick Show, who did you play to Andy?
Oh, is that gonna play my sister?
You played his wife, Denise.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played his wife.
Yeah.
You
So
guys
what's wrong
have
with that, Eliza?
Nothing's wrong with it.
He's got a great range as an actor.
Yeah, it just was funny.
Encounters with Eric and Eliza Roberts, Wednesdays from 2 to 4 p.m. on T-Radio V.
Hey guys, I'm Danny Boy. And I'm Nako Nolan. See what I mean? Hey guys, I'm Danny Boy O'Connor. And I'm Nako Nolan. And we're the That's not written down. All right, well, I'm going to do it my way. Okay. No, it's okay. Watch us as we uncover. And we're the Delta Bravo Urban Exploration Team. Join us every Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Or 10 to midnight for our East Coast friends.
Watch us as we uncover, discover, and explore music, movie, and true crime locations. The Delta Bravo Show every Friday, 7 p.m. right here on T-Radio V. Radio and TV. Just put your hand like that.
T-Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Have I ran? Every time they done call, I come. I come for anything. And it doesn't matter. These are my kids we talking about right here, my siblings. Nobody else's.
I understand, and that's why I wanted to ask you. And you seem like a good guy. How many children do you have?
Roughly 18.
By how many mothers?
17.
You can see why some people are going to say that's a little bit odd.
Well, they'll be okay. They're my kids. I love my kids, and I can care less what anybody think about it.
Are you able? And you have every right to have as many children.
Right now.
Are you able to pay child support?
I can't pay no child support right now. They know I can't pay them no child support right now. Why you think I'm out here mentoring and talking to kids and doing all this stuff? It's whatever it is, man. You get what I'm saying? Whatever.
Do you think you'll have any more children? I mean, you're a young man.
Don't want no more kids. I want to be fixed. I got kids right now that's 15, 16, and 17 years old.
And there you have it.
Yeah.
Orlando Shaw, right?
Yep.
That's the guy you were speaking about.
That's right.
Paternal
That's right.
responsibility. And right there, I mean, that's an example.
He said he's holding it down. He said he's holding it down. He can't find a job. He got a lengthy record.
He would have to be the CEO of the Lakers, Coca-Cola, Samsung. He'd have to have all of those jobs.
Magic would go broke with 18 kids.
You feel me? So again, to speak to paternal irresponsibility, you're 100% right. We do not want to give black men or any man a pass. However, you do have to acknowledge the circumstances, situation for black men in America is pretty sticky. You know, if you don't come through school, college, and then into the professional world, if you don't come through that little tunnel without a hiccup,
Right.
you're already planned out to be a statistic. It's already set up for you to fail in that. Either we're gonna make money with you as our employer or employee, or we're gonna make money off of you in the system that waits for you to fall off. That's just what it is. Dr. G had a point that he wanted to make that I thought was very profound, and so does Ice. Doc?
Yeah, sometimes you just don't have contact with your kids, but that doesn't mean you're not thinking of them. And so something I've suggested to that parent, instead of just thinking about it all the time and just obsessing about it, is start a journal with each of your kids' names, and when you're thinking about them, write down some of what you're thinking about, and collect that, and don't just be venting at your ex. Be writing about missing your child and would have liked to have seen them. And then when they turn 18 or 21, you give it to them. And
That's a great
you
idea.
give it to each of the kids and do something like that.
Right.
Something else, though, you triggered in your last comment, which I want. What would happen if every time a man, black or white, impregnates another woman, we ask them, what do you now think your responsibility is? And what are you willing to, what consequences are you willing to pay if you don't live up to them? I mean, it'd be I don't know what they'd say.
Right. Most people, you had a point that I thought was crazy about the deficit.
When Dr. Goosen was talking, we kind of joke about the black experience, the white experience. But one thing that's really real is that, that is real. There's a disparity in our experiences, period.
Mm.
But black folks are coming from a dignity deficit in America. So our very beginnings here is the worst form of digging into our dignity. So from that, we're dealing with a dignity deficit. So when that argument begins, when that fight, when that disagreement begins, we're not just trying to win that argument. We always find ourselves trying to grab a piece of this dignity shit that's been taken
missing
from us.
Yeah.
So we arguing, me and Zoe could get in an argument right here, but it might be about really how the police just punked me on my way here.
Right.
How, he might be dealing with an issue, and we bring all that to the table in our relationship. So then when we go in the courtroom, my grandpa used to say, man, if white folks got a cold, black people got pneumonia.
Mm-hmm. That's what we do.
So if the general state of family, custody, marriage shit is fucked up in America, then black folks experience, particularly trying to mimic and stay up with white folks experience. Like when I listen to black people say shit like, oh, we co-parent. Fuck you. That whole thinking of like co-parenting and all, I don't believe it. That's not natural to how we are. Even in, I believe, culturally amongst us, with our whole families have to be in this conversation. This story you just told about New York at 9:30 this morning, that woman should be having to think about, man, if my grandpa know I'm doing this shit right now,
there you go.
And we don't have that. So we come from a dignity deficit that impacts the way we and anybody,
And the
no
village
matter
has
what
been destroyed.
No
The
matter
village
what
is
your,
dead,
No
yeah.
matter what your color is, if you white and you're a judge or a lawyer or a social worker in this process, and you white and you look upon black people absurdly, it's important to understand that we dealing with a dignity deficit that impacts us.
And that's a great point. Bobby is here, and then we got to bring in our guest. Bobby, speak.
Yeah, he just sparked a thought in terms of grandfathers and fathers. There was an episode a couple of years ago that I was involved in, and I was able to go to this young lady's father, not the police, and say, man, you need to talk to your dad, to your daughter. And because of her relationship with her father, we were able to circumvent the courthouse because there was some courthouse issues.
Damn it, Bobby,
Okay.
we live in the same life. Dude, seriously, my ex's dad came to me.
Yeah.
And we talked it out on some man business.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
But the evil of the mama side came on a whole nother dance. But I got you.
Oh, that's the way the village is supposed to work. Something I really encourage fathers to do is you have got to fight to have that child in your life as much as humanly possible. I now have 50% custody of my children, my young children. They live at my house for a week. They live with their mom for a week. So they can see the good and the bad of both. When you have a child that's just getting a glimpse of what your life is like and then get 90% of how your daddy ain't shit.
Right.
You add that up over 18 years.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. Listen, more Bay Area activity. The sister who was on the show at the beginning,
she back,
who laid out the NLP Black Mastery Program. I'm telling you right now, if y'all don't go get the NLP Black Mastery Program, just stop listening to the show, because I'm tired of presenting tools that actually we can use and become better for using them. I'm not presenting them for entertainment. It's not entertainment. This is really a serious effort and push to change the dynamic of our experience here in America. The sister is back on the line. And before I introduce her, I just want to say this really quickly. I applaud all of the sisters, the mothers, the single mothers out there who take the bullshit from no good fathers, right? And keep the ills of his ass away from their children. There are a lot of sisters out there that ain't speaking bad on their kids or on the father to their children. This is one of them. That's why I brought her on the show. Veronica Conway, back in the building. What's up?
Hey, good to be back.
Talk to us. Please give us an example of what it means to be a sister in a bad situation, yet still did the right thing in terms of the father and the kids, not downing him, not breaking him down, not putting him in a system. Talk to us.
Well, I have 2 children, and I really appreciate that the brothers are standing up and having this conversation. I love y'all for that. I just want to say that. I have 2 children, and when their father abdicated his responsibility around child support, around exposure, I probably had every opportunity to put him in jail, deny him visitation, all of that, because according to the court's definition, he would have been found, they would have put him in jail. I think that the most important thing that we can embrace in our community is the next generation. And so we have to make our children and their sanity and their wholeness and their livelihood and their futures paramount. So I had to get very resourceful. We talked earlier. I heard you guys talking earlier about the village. When I put my daughter into college and was exhausted and tired because I was an entrepreneur and running businesses and raising them alone, I built a virtual village. I actually built a team of people, of interested family members, loved ones, experts to support us in getting her applied to college and into college. So women that are in that position can find that they can be very creative and resourceful if they decide to be. Now, I will say this: if you look at the numbers, if you look at the money, they say that it takes about $250,000 to raise a child in hard costs. It takes about $60,000 a year of parenting, like if you were going to pay somebody to do the activities of raising a child rearing, it takes about $60,000 a year for women and about $20,000 a year for men to raise a child, meaning all of the responsibilities and tasks. So that means that for every child that's born here in America, you're looking at about $2 million.
And condoms cost $3.
Yeah. Wow. And condoms cost.
How about
so before you lay down,
the ones that don't break,
$2 million bullet. Like we have got to grow up enough as a culture and as a people to deal with that and come to some agreement, because that doesn't go away because either of us avoids it. It's just that number doesn't go away.
So let's do this really quickly.
We have to deal with that. Yeah.
Veronica, let's do this really quick. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to come back to you so you can finish that thought. So What Morning pay-per-view. Paying to see your kids. We'll be back at 2.2.
Measure my words, my actions, put it in words, behavior don't lie, relax, kid. Whatever occurs, however the odds stack up, whenever it's...
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Real.
And it's your boy Chan.
And
don't forget about me.
Don't forget about you. I'm standing next to me. I just want to let you guys know that, as you know, I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer in March. God's been good. I've been taking chemo. The tumors have shrunk to about 80%. Now I'm getting ready to have surgery to remove the tumors out of my colon and my liver. But my brother right here, he'll be here holding it down with guest hosts. I'll be out of it for about 3 weeks, but I'll be back, and I'll be better than ever, okay? I want to thank you all for the prayers and the love. You got anything to say, baby?
As long as you come back, I hope you have a tic-tac.
Well, maybe I'll have surgery on that, too, and fix that as well. We love y'all. Peace.
Your breath is fine. I was playing with you.
Oh, boy. I didn't know there wouldn't be cocktails here. Hi, I'm Johnny Cosmo.
And I'm Ralph. We are Historicals.
Woo! That doesn't sound so good. It's gonna come back to haunt us.
No, yeah, it's not good.
Hey, everyone. I'm Johnny Cosmo.
And I'm Ralph. We are from Historicals. We're not Historicals.
Right.
But we are from Historicals. Please watch our show every Saturday at noon. That's PST. What time is that in New York?
2:15.
That'd be 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Every Saturday, noon PST. Where?
Right here at Radio V.
And what is that? That is
Radio in TV.
I wear a condom just for the show.
I've got one on now.
Hey everyone, this is Rob Van Dam. Telling you should watch RVD Live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. where we talk about whatever we want to. RVD outside of the ring, looking at real life. Every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on T-Radio V. Dude, radio and TV. Who knew?
This is Catherine Dubois. I'm Stana Katic.
Hey, I'm Richard DeClercq.
I'm Joel David Moore.
I'm Frank Infante.
Hey man, this is Richie Ramone. What's up out there?
Radio and TV.
CBGB.
CBGB.
Yeah.
Check it out here.
Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Body's a mathematical ratio. Some bitches is predetermined to get fellatio.
No, I'm sorry, I can't
be a great mate for you. But most niggas can't
I agree.
because the educational system is ass.
chop that one up.
Yeah, let's chop that one up.
Hey, no, let that ride a little bit. They talking, I don't care. I want to hear that music.
Let the music play.
That's the homeboy Chase Skisser. A lot of people been asking about his record.
Your baby mama is crazy. Talking
You
that
don't
shit
get the rap
about how
over-
I am lazy.
Not over here. Yeah. Oh! We back in the building. So what is crazy? We've got a man council. This could have been the council in the Matrix right here. Right? This right here could have been the council at Zion.
It is.
Well, we would need some women. Yeah. Zion is a dirty hole underground. We would need some women.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to the topic. Pay-per-view. Great topic. The sister on the phone was laying out some cold information.
Got a question for her.
Yeah, you do. Go ahead, Jeff.
Veronica, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, ma'am. I agreed with or was on par with 97% of what you said.
He has 3% to
Yeah,
pick with
the
you.
3% I'm not quite sure on, and you're going to have to talk to me like I'm 5, is how was the dollar amount arrived at where it cost considerably more to replace what a mother does than the 20 grand for a father. I didn't expect that.
Those aren't my numbers. Those are actually the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Okay, what do you think
I think what it speaks to is, even though women are in the workplace, we tend to typically, and I'm not saying this is always the case, but we typically run more of the logistics, the medical care, just all the logistics of child rearing. If you add up what that takes and the amount of time, that's what they came up with was 60,000 and 20,000. I'm not saying it's any less valuable. That's just what they said.
I think I understand what you're saying. Maybe perhaps in a vacuum, but if you have a situation where the children are equally with the parents, if this was 2 children or 1 child in a 2-parent home, I'm not quite sure you could come to that number. Or if you have a child that spends exactly 50% of its time with each parent, that you can come to that number. And I think one of the chief problems is in this system is that we talked about the mother being beyond reproach, the mother somehow being on a pedestal with regard to what she has to do, how she has to deal. And I understand that her job is hard, but there are a bunch of fathers, the invisible demographic, a bunch of us dudes that are like, look, I'm trying, I think that's what this show is about. I'm standing on the outside, bamming on the door. I am trying to get in here, and this heifer is mad at me and keeping my kids behind her, which is why that number is that high. It doesn't have to be that high if she'll accept my help.
And again, fatherhood has been marginalized.
Absolutely.
To the degree you will hear rappers speaking in feminist terms.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that my daughter don't need nobody. I'm a hustle so she don't have to need anyone. Or LeBron James, I'm glad my father wasn't there. I mean, he said that.
Yeah.
I'm glad my dad wasn't there. fatherhood has been marginalized to the point where it's inconsequential. But then at the same time, fathers are demonized for not being there. I want to address this concept that men are supposed to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Everest, Mount Pinatubo, and all of the other mountains and volcanoes in the world to get to their kids, regardless of the situation and circumstance. We have to remember that men are human beings too. And one thing about human beings that is consistent, we all have limitations and breaking points. And we can't expect men to be Clark Kent, Super Jor-El, right? We can't expect him to be Kal-El, Superman, and be able to absorb and take in anything regardless of the situation and circumstances. Oh, forget the deck that's stacked against you. No, at some point we have to turn on the crusade button, organize, and say there are some gross inequities in this situation that we have to address if you want us to be that presence provider. That's the real currency. Any thoughts?
I think that's a great thing to do to start the alarm. But between then and now, the houses are burning.
Yeah.
And I only say this because I screwed it up the first time. I have 3 adult sons who I took the every other weekend route. I took the here's my money. I'm going to be at this. I'm going to be at that. But you know what? There's a lot I wasn't at because I didn't know. I didn't even know it happened. So when this came about that I divorced again with these 2 younger kids, I was like, there is no way in hell that I'm going to run this script again.
Right.
I am going to when you go to school, when you go to your children's school, you tell them to treat your child as if it's 2 children. Everything you send home, you send another copy to my house. You have to be that involved.
Right. When I go to my kids' school, I already tell them. I tell them day one. I'm talking about the brass, the principal, the counselor. I come in and say, okay, this your shift. I got them at home. This is your shift.
Ooh, I like that.
You understand? I expect of you here what I give to them at home. You look out for them as if they were your own. That's how I come in. My daughter got it down to a science. Whenever there's an issue, she has it set up like, okay, this is a mom issue.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing in the nuclear missile because he gonna come in and level the whole playing field. Right. So she got it. No, it's not time, Dad. Right. Just one more incident and I'll let you know. That's how she got it. Sean, go ahead.
So here's some tips for the men out there. Zoe, what you're saying is you're involved.
Yeah.
You have to be involved, right? So you want to be involved. The other thing, if you divorce or whatever happens with your spouse, you're divorcing your wife, not your kids. Stay with your kids.
Right.
Stay close to the home. The other thing that can piss the situation off and create problems for you, if you bring in your new girlfriend too fast,
or the new boyfriend,
or boyfriend in the kid's life too quick. You don't want them at the drop-off pickup point. It's aggravating. Courts don't even like it.
What about exes or the new boyfriend and girlfriends making parental decisions?
Yeah, that's not even necessary. Even if you get married, sometimes stepmoms, biological mothers do not like step parents interfering. Be careful with that. But this all comes back to understanding also that the perception that when you take the kids, you're the babysitter. Don't let someone else's perception become your reality. Okay, so you have to be real careful when people are judging you. You're not supposed to judge anyone, but your opinion of me will not become my reality. So you have to change your perception and you'll change your results.
Yeah, it's impossible to babysit your own damn kids.
That's right. I'm not babysitting my own kids. Now, when you go into a courtroom, all you really need to do is, first of all, it's like golf. You know, sometimes you hit a golf shot and the first one's real bad, and you hit the second ball and it goes straight. That's how you have to use your mind. Use your second thought as your first swing.
Ooh, there we go.
Don't swing. Don't go with
Let
the first
swing go.
Let it go.
And then come with the second one.
Come back again. Come back smart. So knowledge is not power. Do you know why? Because knowledge without action ain't nothing.
It's the implementation of knowledge. Yes.
What I'm trying to say to you is there was no book on parenting. So when I go to court and I'm in a courtroom 3 days a week, I'm a mediator. And I come in to mediate celebrity cases, this, that, and the other, paying me hundreds an hour. One time they paid me so much an hour, I looked at the bill and my partner said, "Is that your name on the top?" I looked at him like, well, it ain't yours.
Right.
The bottom line is believe in yourself. That child is yours. Be involved. Get to the school. Do education. Do the doctor. Talk to the other parent with respect. You don't owe them nothing else.
Right.
But at least give you some respect, because you have to remember you're going to reap what you sow.
Let's do it really quickly. Website, Facebook, Instagram.
Sean, follow me on Twitter at Sean Collinson, SeanCollinson. I also have a program, DivorceDoctor.tv. Easy. So DivorceDoctor.tv.
DivorceDoctor.tv.
My new book is I Want Out. It's better this way. That just means you can't get along. Go back to where you can get along. It's like a computer. You ever have a computer crash, but you can reset it to the date it worked?
Yeah. There you go. Ice, where can they find you? What's happening?
You can find me online on Twitter at IceLife. That's ISELYFE. In closing, I want to say that this is not normal, and I want us to not normalize the idea.
Ooh, go.
We not normalize the idea. We deal now with relationships like a car. Like eventually a car will break down, it's gonna be fucked up, and then you got to. The hope is that you can engage in relationships. We're glad to have beautiful mechanics like the brother here who can work it out if it breaks down and get you something new. But we don't want to normalize. It's not.
We don't want to
normal.
normalize the sickness.
Yeah, it's not normal. You should be able to have relationships with people, and if you're gonna have children, it'll be a loving relationship that works out, and y'all don't end up in front of somebody telling you how to run your life. So I end with that.
Go. No, but where can they find you?
On Twitter, at IceLife, ISELYFE, or at IceLife.com, ISELYFE, or search for me at Huffington Post or RollingStone.com.
There you go. And Doc, talk to us. You got tips. We need them.
Yeah, a couple tips. Something about this dignity deficit. I think that's related to being reactive instead of proactive. People who are reactive to life lose their dignity. So something you can do as a parent. Something you can do as a parent, and try and do this every morning. Everybody in the family makes a commitment to that day. We're all going to face something today that frustrates us, and none of us are going to make it worse. We're going to take the hit, and then we're going to report back how we learned how to take the hit without making it worse. Second thing is we're all going to do something hard today that's difficult, and we're going to hang in there instead of quitting.
Wow.
And let's report back at the end of the day, and let's root for each other, because otherwise you get into the blame, complain, excuse cesspool. It is ugly. It is undignified.
Wow. Jeff Brown.
Non-productive.
Check me out on Facebook.
At the House Parenting.
Yeah, at the House Parenting. Hook up the new Jeff Brown Fan Squad for those of you who want T-shirts. And
they love Jeff.
The soon coming book, Jeff's Brownies. Coming out very
Jesus.
soon.
And of course, my Uncle Bobby. How they connect, what they do.
At Glanton Smith, GLANTON SMITH. That's the Twitter handle. www.realmendon'tplay.com. And Thursdays, Real Men Don't Play Show, 6:30 p.m. PST. This Thursday, I got two brothers in studio who changed the game of tennis. Richard and Fred Williams. They taught Richard Williams, the father of Venus and Serena, how to play tennis. He'll be in studio at my show, Real Men Don't Play Show, on rmconlive.com.
There you go. Listen, we got to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to wrap up the topic. This was nuts. It's not designed to answer all your questions, but it is designed to make you think. That's the purpose. We'll be back at 2.2. Holla.
These motherfuckers is relentless. They've looked at you for centuries. Every black death is an act of
Listen, I got a show called Roots and Branches right here on T-Radio V. Yeah, I got a show called Roots and Branches right here on T-Radio V. I want you to stop what you're doing and look look at me. T-Radio B.
Excellent, party time.
Welcome to Big Mama Nature's house. There's a war!
Yeah. Let's have debris all over him. That's a bad man.
Badass, man.
Woo!
Chairs are damp.
The chairs are wet.
Our chairs
Ron.
are slightly damp.
I'm gonna have to use that in the scene.
This is just like Apocalypse Now. So this is a good idea to light a torch near a highly flammable costume, mainly around my crotch area.
We're gonna get cut out, yeah. It's just gonna be cuts of Jean-Claude. They'll like pause them with loud music over it.
What are the chances of a dangerous animal in this island? 0. So just count.
Hi, we're Marissa and Juliana Stove, the Stove Twins, and you're watching T-Radio V. That's radio in TV.
T-Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final thought has arrived. My brother Ice, my brother Sean, my Uncle Bobby, my good friend Dr. Mark Goulston, he's a brother too, and of course my brother Jeff Brown. Listen, this is what I need everybody in this listening cipher to hear. Please don't forget that your internal unresolved toxicity is parenting too. And a lot of times we forget that. That internal toxicity, things that Sean said, you know, sometimes people come to the relationship and they have these expectations. They think everything is going to be good. I think it was Ice who said that. And that's not what it's for. Relationship is a hospital for the soul. Mm-hmm. Whatever is unresolved will manifest itself through that union. And the children will learn from what is manifested in that union. Your toxicity is parenting too. And the best way to help your children understand and learn why toxicity is necessary is for you to acknowledge it outright. The do as I say, not as I do, doesn't work, right? The more honest and authentic and open and vulnerable you are with your children, the better the parent you become. Because now they can understand that, hey, you know what? Some of this toxicity is going to come with me as I grow, as I evolve. And because my daddy had a conversation with me about it, right? I'm ready. I'm ready. Because my mama had a conversation with me about her weaknesses. I am better prepared. Sisters, mothers of every ethnicity, don't have an impossible expectation for the father of your children if you don't have the same impossible expectation for yourself. You can't expect him to go through hell and high water, slap box with the devil, and you don't want to do it. There was a story out there where there was a sister who refused to teach her son life skills because she thought it was the job of his father. And because she had that grudge, that inflexible belief system, right? She didn't teach him anything. She waited to teach her daughter. Her daughter is prepared for the world, but her son wasn't. That's bad parenting. That's abusive. Listen, man, this is a quantum kind of relationship. Anything left unresolved will manifest itself later on. All right? This is a hologram. You can't hide. If you're a bad person somewhere in your life, that toxicity is going to manifest itself in some way, shape, or form in your parenting. I'm just saying, man, we have to do better. As a family unit, as a collective, we should not take relationship and baby making lightly. We shouldn't. Family building, we shouldn't take it lightly. This is our posterity. This is our legacy. With that said, Zoe Williams' final thought is over. But I appreciate everybody who participated. Please go out and get Pistols and Prayers by Ice Life. It's on Amazon.com. Pistols and Prayers, a collection of prayers, poems, journal entries, rhymes, and antidotes. You gotta support Ice Life. Support my man Sean Collison. I want out. Support Dr. Goulston. Just listen. Real influence. Support Bobby. Real men don't play. Support me. The Rebirth the Seeds. And honestly, go get the Black Mastery NLP. Please go get that neuro-linguistic programming. It'll change your life. It's changed mine. I appreciate everybody. We'll see you next week with another barn burner. So what mornings, deuce?
You are watching T Radio V. Radio MTV.